1940 Chevy Special Deluxe. Yep, still here, still at the Airbnb. We'll be here for another week, actually a little bit less. If you're new here, it's because we just moved back to Wisconsin from Florida. And we don't move into the new place for a few days yet. One of you had suggested that since we won't be in the garage for a little while, that maybe we can talk about some old projects. And you know what? I think that's a good idea. We already did one of the 64 Impala. I'll put a link in a pinned comment in the comments section and a link at the end of the video so you can watch that one next. Not that one either. We'll talk a lot about that one later. 1940 Chevy Special Deluxe. 4-door sedan. That's the one we'll talk about. That was a fun one. I really enjoyed that. The funny thing is, it's down in Florida now. I want to say Niceville area. So that one, I actually traded a 71 Harley Sportster hardtail bobber thing I was building. Traded that for it. And funny thing is I don't think anybody saw the vision I did for this Chevy. I mean, it was a beat up, ugly 4-door sedan. It was kind of rough. But I don't know, I saw the thing finished in my head before I even made the trade. And I just had to have it. And I had a dang good time building that thing. I had a dang good time owning it and driving it. And even taking my kids to school in it. Anyway, first thing I did, I found an S10 chassis. And looking back on it, I probably would have done it differently. Maybe using a car chassis. Or just doing a Mustang 2 on the original 40 chassis, because I don't really think that one was all that bad, really. But I had this S10 chassis, and it was good, and parts are everywhere, and you know, that every other reason why people say they use those. Plus, I know my way around those chassis pretty well. I've worked on a lot of them. So all the suspension, brand new brakes, brand new bushings, everything, front and back. I knew I was only running, I think they were 15s. So I was able to run the factory S10 control arms, just had to de-hump them. The S10s have this hump on the lower control arm that prevents them from coming up high enough to lay frame. So just chop that off and plate it. In the rear, I made some notches out of 2x6 steel tubing. The link was KP Components 6 link, but it wasn't complete. I got it from a buddy of mine. I had to make some brackets and things to make it work. Envy, get out of there. And that's one of them cases I really kind of feel bad, because you know, when you get a deal on something or a buddy gives you something and you put it in your car, your truck, and you end up selling it later on. I really do appreciate him helping me out with that. Gas tank was actually a stock 40 Chevy gas tank. And it was brand new from Tanks Inc. or Tanks something or other. It actually fit in between the frame rails of that S10 chassis pretty well, with a little bit of modification. There was a lot of work putting that body on that chassis. I mean, a ton. You don't need to talk about all of it, because I'm sure you know, or you can guess. So once the chassis was all done, all painted, looking all nice, brand new components, naturally, we body dropped the Chevy, cut the whole floor out of it, laid it over the frame, had to build a whole new floor structure and body mounts and all that. And that's one thing I didn't like about doing the S10 chassis on that, because where it kicks up behind the cab, in this car, it kicked up kind of under the back seat. It didn't really turn out all that bad. The back seat was a cut down Honda Civic seat. Front seat is the rear seat in a van, like the one that would fold down into a bed. Had to shorten that up, but it worked pretty well. sound deaden the whole dang thing. Floor, doors, trunk, everything. It's all black loop pile carpet, tweed door panels. The gauge cluster, I took that apart and did round gauges in there, and they're kind of set back behind the original rectangle. It's pretty cool, actually. Kind of gives it some cool depth. In the center of that dash, there's a speaker from the factory. I took all that apart, welded in a spot for a double DIN radio. The thing had navigation and everything. But I also kept that old speaker grill, and I made it removable, so it actually covered up that double DIN radio, the air-eyed gauges, and a bunch of switches and stuff. I painted all that like a matte black. You know, not totally flat. It had a little bit of sheen to it, but it wasn't glossy by any means. A little pinstriping on that, of course. Engine is a Crate 350 from Jegs, or yeah, it was Jegs. The 700 R4 transmission, so thing highwayed great. Tell you what, going down the highway in that didn't look like it was supposed to be going 80 miles an hour. But yeah, it ran great down the interstate. The paint on that thing, I washed it with CLR. You know, that calcium lime rust stuff. I washed it with that and a scuff pad, and then buffed the whole thing. That's a before and after. Turned out really cool, actually. We mentioned the Kenwood double DIN radio that was in it. We had 2 sets of JL components. Well, they're C3650s, so they're convertible. You can run them with a separate component, or you can actually attach the tweeter to the mid like a coax. A 905 JL amplifier and a single 10. I think sounded good. It was a fun car to cruise around in. Yeah, that was a good car. Only reason I sold that was so I can work on the Impala. That's just what I have to do. If I want to keep building them, I gotta sell them. It's unfortunate because I'd like to keep them all, but I just can't. All right, girls, come on, let's go in. Well, I hope you enjoyed that at least a little bit. Let me know. There's a bunch of other projects we could talk about. But next time, we're gonna be in the new garage. I'll see you there.